Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Warzone update coming with Modern Warfare 3 seems to be a complete game changer based off the information that we have as of right now. And yes, we already have a surprising amount of intel on some of what we can expect when we see the Modern Warfare 3 integration into Warzone. Now, I've already seen a lot of questions, a lot of concern. Zach, are we going to see Warzone 3 this year like we saw Warzone 2 with Modern Warfare 2? And the simple answer to that is no. There's nothing called Warzone 3 that's likely probably going to ever exist, if I had to guess, because let's face it, the whole Warzone 2.0 backfired because it was not 2.0, it was more of 0.5, right? We obviously know now that they've gotten rid of their 2.0 branding and it's just back to Warzone. So just like back in Warzone 1 when we saw the Cold War integration and the Vanguard integration, this year we're going to see a Modern Warfare 3 integration into Warzone, except it's going to do a lot more at a base level than any of those integrations did back during Warzone 1, which is nice to see. Now, initially, as for the timing of this, we only have leaks and rumors as of right now, but they're pretty credible. They are stemming from Tom Henderson and Insider Gaming, who is pretty spot on when it comes to the launch date of November 10th and everything. And as of right now, according to Insider Gaming and Tom, the integration for MW3 into Warzone is going to take place with the launch of Season 1, which is supposedly going to be happening in early December. I think December 5th is that rumored date as of right now. Now that could change. It just depends on when Season 1 launches, but that's we can expect the majority of these changes to actually be implemented into Warzone gameplay. Now, getting into some of said changes, really what we're focused on here is the movement updates to the game and then also the major map updates as well. So initially, obviously with the MW3 reveal earlier on this week, we got a lot of information on the movement updates happening in MW3, a lot of them sort of bringing back that feel of classic COD gameplay that we've been wanting for a couple of years now, ever since MW 2019 dropped. And Charlie Intel pretty much sums it up by saying, with MW3 multiplayer movement, you're going to be able to cancel everything. There's slide canceling, there's reload canceling, there's faster mantling, and you're going to have the ability to mantle while sprinting. You're going to be able to fire immediately after sliding. You'll be able to aim down sights while you're sliding with a gear and a perk option. There's going to be increased tac sprint durations for various different weapon classes. It'll differ between snipers and pistols and LMGs and what have you. There's going to be increased strafe speeds and ADS speeds, so that'll all be faster, and your tac sprint recharges while you're sprinting by default. And Charlie Intel actually followed that up by saying the movement will carry over to Warzone when MW3 and Warzone integrate later on this year. So essentially, all the movement updates and changes that we're going to see with Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer, as opposed to like MW2 and Warzone as it stands right now, will be there for MW3 and the Warzone integration as well. And why is this? Well, it's because it's all taking place on the same engine. You may recall that with the integrations back during Warzone 1 for Cold War, we just saw the new map update with Verdansk 84 and the Cold War weapons and operators. Then for Vanguard, we saw the Caldera map and the Vanguard weapons and operators. We never really saw the core gameplay elements of Cold War multiplayer or Vanguard multiplayer make their way into Warzone, and that's largely because the games were built on different engines, more so Cold War than Vanguard, but the same point applies. But now, because everything moving forward is being built and upgraded off of the current engine that we're using for MW2, this means that all the changes that are made for the future multiplayers can actually be then tethered to Warzone as well and adjusted as needed, which is really nice to see. So yes, I've seen a lot of questions about this already. MW3 movement's going to be changing for the better, it seems. What about Warzone? Well, it appears it is going to be transferring over, which I'm very excited about. Now, as mentioned, we also gained some new information on the major map update happening with the MW3 Warzone integration. And as we get into this, quick reminder, if you guys are new here, every single day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, especially when it comes to the new Warzone updates and everything going on with MW3. So if you want to stay in the loop, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. We obviously have so much content coming up in the next few days, weeks, and months approaching launch. And if you guys enjoy this video, if you're excited for these changes, let me know by dropping a like on the video. It would be seriously appreciated. Seriously, much love, and thank you guys so much for all the support on the channel as of late with everything going on with all the major announcements and everything. Hey everyone, quick little announcement. This weekend going through Wednesday, there is now a buy one get one free event, a BOGO event going on over at G Fuel. So if you guys want to take advantage of the best possible discount you can get on a G Fuel order, now is the time. You can get one tub of your choosing and get a second one entirely free. There is no better discount you can get even with my code on your standard orders. So if you're looking to try out a new flavor or restock your favorites, now is literally the best time to do so. The link for that will be down in the description below. But Charlie Intel shared some additional details that they got on the Warzone integration for MW3 while they were actually at the Sledgehammer studios. They said, we discussed this briefly in their Twitter spaces with Modern Warzone, but during the briefing at Sledgehammer Games, we were briefly shown a TAC map over the new Warzone map. It was the same outline as Las Almas, but everything else was different, set in the Middle East with desert terrain. So this is particularly interesting. As you guys, I'm sure you know, if you've caught the videos here talking about the Las Almas map, this has actually been in the MW2 campaign since the game dropped, and it's pretty much a full outline and TAC map overview of Las Almas as a battle royale map. And what Charlie is saying here, what Charles Intelligence is saying, is that the TAC map is the same, except for the terrain and everything is different, and it's seemingly been changed over to a Urzikstan setting. Now, for what it's worth, Las Almas is a desert map, Urzikstan is a desert setting. It's going to be the same sort of style there, but this, I guess, makes more sense for where the MW3 story is headed. Now, you may also recall that a bit ago, Metaphor, who's a fellow creator, actually shared several different leaks regarding the upcoming Warzone map by saying, the new Warzone map coming in MW3 looks amazing. Slide canceling is in the current build, which we now know obviously is confirmed, as we just talked about. There's no giant hill in the middle of the map. There's tons of buildings and POIs, unlike Caldera. Lots of areas that look memorable. Downtown is very Verdansk-like, with the biggest buildings being Overwatch from MW3 DLC at the top, very reminiscent of Blackout's construction site. Countdown from COD 4 is also there. It looks like MW2 but improved, which would line up with what we know so far. Now, going back to Charlie Intel and Modern Warzone in their Update Requires Restart podcast, also ended up sharing that this map, again, is sort of based out of Urzikstan, it would seem, and it has a lot of buildings on it. It seemed like it was very dense, opportunities for a lot of close quarters engagements when you rotate from point of interest to point of interest. That would line up with exactly what Metaphor was talking about there. I believe Modern Warzone also mentioned in the Twitter spaces that there's like almost a center island that's sort of surrounded by various different rivers. He mentioned there was a lot of rivers sort of splitting up the map, and there was an island or sort of center area there that seemed to be split off via the water from the main areas. But I mean, based on the leaks that we now have from Metaphor and the very sort of ambiguous details from what they were able to see during their briefing for MW3 at Sledgehammer, it's all sort of lining up the same. So we can take that as it is right now and say it's more than likely Metaphor's seen some credible stuff there, which is promising if you're a fan of Verdansk. You know, little to no inspiration from Caldera, and it's a much more balanced out map like Verdansk was back in the day in terms of flow and points of interest. I'm liking the sounds of that if it's POI dense, unlike Al Mazrah, obviously, which is a great map. I personally think Al Mazrah is really fun to play, but my biggest quarrel with it is the fact that there is so much dead space in between the points of interest, a lot of open sandy hills, or obviously, again, a huge hill in the very center that is very dominating in terms of verticality. It seems like it could be an interesting change of pace for sure, but based on the info that we have right now in regards to the MW3 Warzone integration, certainly sounds promising. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see for actual gameplay to have any final conclusions, but we know that we're going to have the movement updates of MW3 multiplayer, a brand new big battle royale map, then of course the standard usual integration stuff in terms of weaponry and operators, and probably a few other features that we'll learn about in the coming days, weeks, and months. And once we do have any more intel to discuss, you guys already know I'm gonna have you covered right as it happens, so stick it here for that. Make sure you are subscribed with those noties turned on, and if you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.